This report brought to you by the Richmond Club, where investors and high-growth companies meet.
Thanks, Piyush. Our next speaker is the CEO of Rover Metals. Please welcome Mr. Judson Coulter.
This is a very exciting time in the gold exploration industry. This is a buyer's market and a great time to invest. Rover Metals owns two gold projects. We've got the Uptown Gold Project and the Cabin Lake group of projects. The total land package under management is 5,500 hectares. The Cabin Lake property, which is our signature asset and focus of our current exploration work, we believe is a multi-million ounce deposit potential. Currently, we're doing an airborne magnetic survey of the entire Cabin Lake property. That will all lead into a 2,000 meter drill program at Cabin Lake, and we're very excited about that. If we add in Camp Lake and Sleeman Lake, which are on the same iron band stratigraphy, then we're getting into the multi-million ounce gold potential. Rover Metals' competitive advantage is our jurisdiction, which is the Northwest Territories, as well as our board and our management team. Within the next few years, construction for the All Season Road will increase that value to $30 to $35 an ounce. That's a $50 million valuation at $25 an ounce. At our current market cap today, that's well north of a 10-time return on an investment. Building Rover Metals, we started building the company in 2014, and one of the key things was getting strategic shareholders involved early on in large positions to support us and help build this company 3 years post being public. Tukey Stewart Angus, who's a very well-respected angel investor in the mining sector, is our fourth largest shareholder. As a younger management team, we've got the horsepower and the patience to build this company the way it needs to be built. So we're incredibly excited about taking these projects to the next level, and that's what we're doing.
This video contains forward-looking statements.
Thanks everybody this is our first Richmond Club presentation, so really happy and honored to be invited to join the club. We are a gold exploration company, one of the newest listed exploration companies on the Toronto Venture Exchange. We opened the market 3 weeks ago and went public in the middle of the summer. So we're just starting to get the word out about our company and what we're doing in the Northwest Territories. So let's get into it. So just starting with experience of the team, that starts at our board. Building the company, the company's 4 years old. We started privately in 2014, and the focus was really the people. We were focused on the Northwest Territories, so we built this as a Northwest Territories company. I mean, starting on the far right, if you recognize that last name, Hodgson, his father, Stuart Hodgson, was the commissioner for the Northwest Territories. So, the buildings, the government downtown, that's Eugene's father. So just in terms of permitting and political arena, we're very well connected. Our exploration permits that are now good for 5 years took 4 months to get. And then the government gave us $85,000 in cash and said, hey, get to work, here's a grant. That's just how exploration friendly the Northwest Territories is. Keith Minty, he's present here at the back today. Keith, he's just stepped out to use the washroom, but Keith was one of the original mine engineers at Giant Mine in Yellowknife. So he's very familiar with the area code and the geology. There was a mention by Mr. Barshney of the Arizona mining transaction. Well, the original vendor of that project is Tukey Angus. So Tukey's our fourth largest shareholder, an advisor, and a personal mentor to myself. So certainly in a position to help us long-term advancing our project to the next level. Lou Cavella. Lou's built his career as a professional geologist in the Territories. He was the original founder of Cavella, Bryan and Associates, which is now Aurora Geosciences. And they're our project management in terms of outsourced during exploration season. We bring them in really to help out with our programs. So here's just a quick snapshot of our company. We're headquartered in British Columbia and Vancouver. Our board office with Keith is here in Toronto. I'm here pretty much every once a month. And then we're in the Territories. We've got two projects of focus it's gold. We'll get into sort of the opportunity on a gold investment right now, but having talked to an industry leader yesterday at Sprott, I know Sprott's heavily into gold, and that's in terms of the focus on where the market's going in Q1. There's a strong belief in gold leading the commodity cycle. I also met with the leadership team of Orem Resources yesterday, and they're seeing, they're an A-list exploration company in our space, so they're also in Nunavut. They're seeing a lot of demand on the U.S. side, so I'm proud to announce that Rover's in the middle of a U.S. listing, and we're looking to take advantage of that, the U.S. retail market, and we will be co-listed come January. So that's in the works right now as well. Management team, myself, I'm a startup entrepreneur. After UBC grad school, I went to work in Seattle for a private equity fund, built and sold some tech companies in Seattle and a coffee company. If you ever go into Starbucks and you see the Clover coffee machine, I worked on that transaction. We sold that to Schultze there at Starbucks, and that was a fun win. I moved back to Canada in 2010. I was a founder of Dolly Varden Silver. That was in a personal estate. We bought it for $2 million. It had a 500,000 ounce reserve in the Golden Triangle. Now there's over 40 million ounces inferred there today, and Hecla Mining is a major shareholder. So that was my first real win in the mining sector as a co-founder. I left Dolly Varden in 2012 and went on to really start Rover Metals. And officially we got started in 2014 with Rover Metals. More of the management team, Keith Minty, as a mine engineer, has put projects into production around the world. Recently on the board of Orem Resources, Calnex Mine, DNI Metals. Ron Wu, who's based in Vancouver, mine engineer as well. He's worked at Leadcore, Walter Energy, done projects into production all over Canada. Raul Sanibria, Eurogeologist as well as a Canadian geologist. He comes to us from Madrid. Raul's worked extensively around the world in gold. Fairly recently in Colombia with Red Eagle, and then more recently in Canada in the Yukon and the Golden Triangle. So now he's with us in the territories, and let's get into the projects. All right, exploration history. So this kind of gives you a sense of exactly where we are in the territories. If you look down in the bottom right, that's Yellowknife itself. So we've got a project that's literally in the shadow of the giant mine headframe. So right across the highway. Great place to watch the aurora from too. We were up there last week and we saw the aurora. It was amazing. We've also got, if you follow the, there we go. So this is an all-season road right here. So into Betchico, we're talking about infrastructure. This is about an hour and a half drive, and there's a community of Betchico here. And so what's coming in for infrastructure for us in the future is a new all-season road that has been fairly funded and permitted. Fortune Minerals is up here. Nighthawk Gold is up this way. What's great about the territories is ice road access. So this lake here is about 6 feet in depth, and it freezes in the wintertime, and that's how we get access to the Cabin Lake project. And this is our signature property, and we'll get into the history of Cabin Lake in a second here. But just, again, getting back into Yellowknife, area code, TerraX Minerals. We've got 60 North Gold, Gold Mining Inc. Lots of juniors in our area code. So we went public on the Uptown Gold Project, and then during the listing process, we acquired what we refer to here as the Cabin Lake group of projects. And just a quick highlight, this is an iron band stratigraphy, and this is a gold-hosted gold project down in Yellowknife. So we have two types of geology that we're working in. Cabin Lake. So you can see here, this is a extrapolated model. This is roughly the stage of where the project's at today. It hasn't been drilled in 30 years, but when it was drilled, there was a historical resource of 85,000 ounces. It was put on hold. The area that we're operating in, and I'm just going to go back one slide, this area here was up for land claim settlement, and in 2005, the Tlicho First Nation did get a land claim settlement, and these are historic Crown claims that were kept out of the settlement. So really, this is part of the reason why this project hasn't seen the light of day in 30 years, is, in 2005, there was a new, the Tlicho government land use plan. All that's come into place. We're now permitted, and we're working harmoniously with our First Nation neighbors. So just getting back into the project, most recently in the late 80s, it was developed by Aber Resources, and prior to that, Caminco. So Grant Thomas at the helm at Aber. They were drilling this project, they liked what they saw, and then people discovered diamonds in Northwest Territories. So this project just was kind of put on hold. And then of course we know what happened with Aber and Diavec. And so the data itself was in North Arrow Minerals, which is a legacy company from Aber. So we acquired the data, 7,500 meters of drill data. We have 7 bankers boxes and map boxes with a lot of data. In March of this year, we've gone through it. We've planned our drill program. We've done some geophysics. We flew a magnetic airborne drone survey on the project. And the geology we have here is very similar to the Lupin mine, the Lupin gold mine in Nunavut. It's an iron band hosted deposit. So let's get into some of the roughly 100 kilometers northwest from Yellowknife. We have Winter Road. There will be, if I go back to this slide, you can see the infrastructure coming in, the All Season Road, opening up these other 2 projects for 2020. There's a little bit more about the grade. This is a high-grade near-surface deposit. We like to refer to it as a discovery hole project just because of the types of grades you're seeing and the fact that it hasn't been drilled in 30 years. So, some of the work we'll be doing is reconfirming these holes that we had of 12 meters of 15 grams per ton that were 100 feet apart. And again, these are less than 100 meter deep drill holes. So this is a perfect project for the exploration market that we're in, which is high grade and relatively inexpensive exploration work. This is the work that we just completed. So we did geophysics. We flew a drone over the project, and you can see here the black lines are the historic drill holes, and you can see how much of that iron band formation still hasn't been drilled. And this is where we're getting that 12 meters of 15 grams per ton, and like down here. So we're really excited. This is the focus of our drill program for February. Why February? Because the cost of exploration is significantly lower during February because of the ice roads. So instead of a helicopter mobilized drill program, we just use essentially a ski cat to plow a road over the lake and get in here and get access. Here's just a summary of the historic grades that was done by Aber Resources. Just talking about, here's one of the holes. Here's 8 meters of 16 grams per ton, 12 meters of 15. This is a great discovery hole project. See your intersects. Our other project is right in the heart of Yellowknife itself. So here's the Giant Mine. Here's the Uptown Gold Project. This is TerraX all around us. We got after this project before they started really consolidating a district scale package around us, so we were lucky early to the game. We've done about 1,000 meters of drilling, just reconfirming the rod and fox zone. What we're seeing here is shear hosted gold in granite, and what we're looking to do is this lake here and this lake here really show extension of that shearing system to the north, which then creates an open pit potential. So it's a low to medium grade but bulk tonnage project, and the open pit at Giant was right there, so it just kind of gives you an indication. Keith's familiarity with the project is, he put the open pit in at Giant, so he's our lead on this project. Here's some of the just the drill results and historic that we saw out of our drill program in 2017 at Uptown Gold. Historic production. There was a small open pit operation here historically, 14 tons, 68 grams per ton. So that's what we're after in that project. Some of the historic grades. This is a summary of our drill program, really just where we actually found 2 new zones in our drill program, just extending that shear system. This was in 2017. Okay, summary of ownership. We own that Cabin Lake group of projects 100%. Uptown Gold, we are about 40% of the way in to an option agreement, but all of the commitment is really deferred to 2020. So this is a deeper discovery project. I mean, we're talking to 300 to 400 meter drill holes, so we've just deferred that option agreement to we've got different, more favorable exploration markets. Just skipping ahead, why gold investment? Here's a quick summary chart of really major discoveries, exploration dollars spent, and really new projects. So this is where we are in 2017. Look at the dollars that have been spent on exploration versus project new discoveries. I mean, we're in a mining favorable jurisdiction. We're in the Northwest Territories, politically safe. Again, it took us 4 months to get our permits, and then we got exploration money, exploration grant from the territorial government. So very, very mining friendly area code to be in. Unlocking the value. So at our market cap today, we've actually trading 50% off of what we IPO'd and raised $1.5 million at. So it's a buy. And of course, there's no warrant on the open market, but that's what our IPO. It was a full unit we offered. So we're trading off of our IPO valuation and our market cap. But I like to think that there's a 2 million ounce gold potential here. With the infrastructure, you're seeing that you value that $25 to $35 an ounce, so that's roughly a 50 million valuation if we're successful in proving up this resource. So therein lies the 10-time return, and that's why we do this as a junior mining company. We're at 5 or 6 cents, but we're offering that opportunity to potentially get a 10-time return. We've also got, what's going on here with Fortune? They're building a facility. So, this project, even if we're just in the 1 million ounce area, sort of in terms of resource, this could really just feed the Fortune project if we don't have the economics to build an entire facility of our own. That's just some forward-looking statements from our lawyers, and that's it. Any questions?
This report brought to you by the Richmond Club, where investors and high-growth companies meet.